Hi guys.
Hi guys.
Welcome back to our channel, the Masekos. So on today's video, we will be discussing what we consider orange flags.
Yeah.
But anyway, just before we get started, again, we'd like to thank everyone who has subscribed and who's just been so supportive of our channel. We appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we hope you continue to enjoy our content in this journey as we grow. We really appreciate it. So yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Don't forget to share with your friends.
Yes, please.
And others. Like, subscribe,
comment. Yeah. Everything.
All right. With this discussion about orange flags, pretty strange concept to say orange flags. But these are the things that are not your red flags. Does that make sense?
Yeah, not necessarily red. They can turn red very quickly though.
Yeah.
I will emphasize, because I almost wanted to call it red flags, but you know, after we discussed, I understood Anela's point of view that it's not necessarily red. It's things that can be rectified.
Yeah.
So it's orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we had a video where we discussed deal breakers. You can have a look at that video.
I guess those would be considered red for us. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So the first one, in terms of red flags, we said how they treat elders or parents or teachers or just anyone who's elder. You know, how people, let's say you wanna have a partner and you're starting to see their characteristics and learning how they are.
Yeah.
You need to observe how they treat people who are older than them. You know, whether they're happy, they're sad, they're angry, just the way they treat people, older people, in fact, is hugely important, especially for men. Men, when you want to find a partner and being a woman you want to marry, you first need to observe how that person relates to their father, you know, and their parents and other elderly people
in their lives.
The kind of attitude and the kind of character they have towards other people is exactly what you are likely to get in your marriage and in your household. So yeah, that was number one. You want to add more on that?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it says a lot about a person's character, how they speak of their parents, their family, older people in their lives, you know. Yes, people can come from difficult circumstances, single home households, all of those things. But I think it's very important that we always remember that our character should not be defined on how others treat us. I know it's really easy to say, but just because someone treats you badly doesn't mean that you need to treat them badly back, because that is also a very orange flag if you are really the kind of person who's swayed in how you behave because of how someone else treats you. Like, oh, I know it's a popular thing on social media, like, if you give me this kind of energy, I'm going to give it back to you tenfold. It does not work in relationships. It will never ever work. You can be that kind of person if you really stand by that, but just know that it will be very difficult to be in a relationship with someone who's like that, and if you're also someone like that. So it's very important to treat those who are older than you with respect, because if they can't respect people who are older than them, what makes you think that they're going to respect you?
Yeah. All right, so you did touch on the second point a bit there. It's about how they treat you when they are angry. And the reason why it's important how they treat you when they're angry is, look, you are going to get difficult moments where people become angry at each other. Yeah, we love each other so much.
Yep.
She does make me angry at times.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't make her angry, but, you know, she makes me very angry, you know? So it's always going to happen. It's always going to happen that you step on each other's toes. And the thing about anger is that there's no real threshold of what makes you angry. Sometimes it can be something so small, and sometimes something really big, you know. So what's very important is to find someone who has the ability to control their actions even in anger. You don't want to be with someone who a day after they were angry, like, oh my word, what did I do? what happened? I just
And now
blacked
they're
out and
super
all those things.
apologetic and things like
Yeah.
that. There's no self-control.
Yeah.
Like, that is lack of self-control. You need to be able to be controlled, disciplined.
Yeah.
It's good that you express or you feel an emotion. Like, there's nothing I would say wrong with feeling angry. You're reacting to it as a human being. But how you then channel that anger or how you act when you're angry is important. So it's very important to be aware of how someone treats you when they're angry, how they react, their behaviors, because if that's how they're reacting in the relationship, I think like we said in our previous video, it's 10 times more in marriage. If they're just hitting a wall or, you know, breaking things, they'll be breaking you.
Hey,
or breaking cars or breaking valuable assets or hectic things.
Breaking phones.
Yeah.
All those kind of things. You can't
toxic.
get a hold of someone.
It's awful.
Because they had an argument with their partner and now their phone's broken.
Imagine.
So you need to observe those things. Those are the kind of things that if you're deciding that, hey, I'm going to tolerate this, I'm going to stand for this while we're dating. Don't think miracles happen when you get married.
Yep.
You're dragging that into your marriage.
Exactly.
You're dragging that for your future. So, and if you are planning to marry this person, don't just observe what they do towards you and then deciding for yourself. Only if you're going to have kids, you need to decide if you'll be okay with your kids being exposed to that
kind of environment.
Because some people have a high threshold of how much abuse they can tolerate.
Yeah, like what we've noticed with our daughter, for example, she, like, if there's a loud noise on like TV, like, you know, like let's say we accidentally put like a movie that we didn't know has a bit of action in it, she just jerks and she doesn't like that at all, you know. So she's just used to a calm environment because we're like that. So she doesn't like sudden noises or shouting, and you know, like it really upsets her and makes her feel some type of way. So we can't even imagine if she was born into a household where we were violent, and it would have been so awful for her. And so it's really unfair on the children. So those are things that you need to consider. Number 2, how they are when they're angry.
Absolutely. In terms of our daughter not liking loud noises, when we're watching football, then now she's in a good environment.
Because it's a different kind of noise, I guess.
Take her to the stadium, you know.
I think she can tell when something is not a pleasant. Gunshots, she's not a fan of those. Violence, no. But like, I mean, if her dad is just go, she'll join in. So she can tell. So but anyway, the third one is how they treat service staff, you know. And that one is really also about character, because if they're going to be rude to the waiter or people who they think are beneath them and things like that, it just says a lot about their character. I would say that one is really borderline red flag, but it's something that you need to call out very quickly and be like, I don't like how you're speaking to the waiter, or I've noticed how you treat maybe those who collect garbage and things like that. It's awful. And what I appreciate about this country that we're in, the UK, is that they really are big on respecting everyone's job. No one is looked down on because they collect rubbish or they clean the toilets or whatever, which is something that we should have also back in South Africa and in other African countries. I don't know when that mentality started, but it's a very good trait to have. If you treat people and you don't see yourself as above them, and you know, it's like, that's someone who's very prideful. It's a subtle orange flag, but almost red flag, of someone who can be very abusive in the long run, very prideful, who can be very spiteful. Pride is a horrible thing to have.
Can't solve problems with someone.
They'll never see they're wrong. Like, it's a subtle sign about, say, emotional abuse. I think we mentioned abuse as a deal breaker in our previous video. It's a subtle sign of that. It's actually a very big one. I would almost say this one is a red flag. I think if I nearly treated service staff badly, that would have been very off-putting for me if I think about it, because you need to see everyone as a human being, as someone who's worthy of treatment, not just because of where they are in life. You think, oh, okay, because they collect rubbish or whatever, it gives me a right to treat them however. That's just not a good person if you treat them badly because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you said a mouthful there. I'll just skip over to the next one then. Yeah, how they deal and overcome trauma. Yeah, that's very important because the thing about trauma is it leaves certain, let's say, scars that are not really healed, so wounds, you know. Yeah, and so when someone is dealing with something like that, they some people tend to then scar people around them also. You know, and then they use it as an excuse. Yeah, as a tool, you know, to try and excuse certain things that they do for not, and they then don't take responsibility and accountability for other things that they do, you know. And so you need to understand how to navigate around that, especially if you're not the one who's dealing with the trauma. Because if you decide to go into a relationship with someone who has trauma or some sort of traumatic experience, you need to understand that there's no timeline as to when they'll be fine. You can't expect them to be fine maybe after 2 years or 3 years, you know. And when it's not going according to how you hope it would go, yeah, you can't bring it up and start bashing them about it. Like, hey, I've been here for 2 years now, and you're still not getting through this. And you know, you need to understand that it's a very difficult journey. And so when you do decide that you want to jump into a relationship with someone who's dealing with that, you need to understand that you need to be supportive. And so if you do feel that I can't handle this, you do not have to stick it out. You can walk away, but it would be very unfair of you to expect them, you know, expect them to change according to your timeline, expect them to overcome this according to when you feel that it's necessary, because trauma affects people differently and everyone handles their own traumatic experiences differently, and it has a different effect on them. So you need to be mindful of that.
I think a lot can be said about trauma. I think probably we will dive into it in a later video as our channel grows and as we grow, because personally I've had to deal with trauma as well. And when Aneli walked into my life, I was just starting to really unearth it, or actually being loved by him and being in that relationship where we were so vulnerable and committed early on really put me in a place where I had to deal with that as I was receiving that love. Because, you know, love is not all roses and good feelings. It's also dealing with a lot of vulnerabilities, and because you want to love this person better as well, you need to work on that which is still hurting you or that has broken you. And it's very hard. It's very easy to put trauma in a box and pretend like you're okay, which I think at that point I had done for like a number of years. But then with him now, it's like, I had to deal with this because it was just something I couldn't box anymore, and it would affect our relationship. And luckily, he, coming from a beautiful childhood, 10 out of 10, he didn't have any trauma of his own, so I guess it was just me and my baggage. But it also put him in a place where he had to learn, and I also had to be accountable for that trauma to like grow, because it's not fair to keep someone in the relationship and every time things go wrong or you struggle with something and you know it's because of the trauma, or you're now just using the trauma as an excuse to an extent. So I know it's very hard to walk away from a relationship where someone is dealing with trauma, but I think you need to understand that in the relationship phase or dating phase, that's okay. If it's not something you can handle, unfortunately a lot of us have also dealt with trauma. You know, you're not going to always be in a relationship where one person has and the other hasn't. We're in a world where so many horrible things happen to us, and maybe both parties have trauma, and it's just not okay to then stick that situation out. It's best to let them work through it and be willing to work through it, even if it means them working through it alone, because it can end up hurting you in the long run, and it will hurt your relationship in the long run as well. So yeah, so much can be said on that. We don't want to dwell on it too long, but it's something to really be mindful of and think of.
Yeah, I had a little trauma when I was young. Manchester United was, they ruined my childhood. They won everything. So yeah.
Right. But yeah, moving on to the next point, lifestyle habits also can be an orange flag. So yes, opposites can attract. Of course, we are opposites ourselves.
Yeah, we are opposites.
But it's very important also to realize that lifestyles need to gel and mesh when you get married or even during dating.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important that you and your partner are also able to do activities together and things together and live life day to day together and be happy with that and be happy with the life that you're living on a day-to-day basis, even if you're different characters. So if one person is an extreme party goer, always grooving, they're always out, and you're someone who's always indoors, and you're both committed to that kind of lifestyle, then you really need to sit and consider whether it's wise to then continue the relationship, because you can't force or bully the other person out of what they're enjoying and what their favorite pastime is.
Yeah, and look, by all means, if someone maybe loves going out fairly and that's how they enjoy their life, that's even acceptable. If you're someone who doesn't like going out and you're okay with someone being like that, remember, these are orange flags. These are things that have the capacity to become red flags or to hurt your relationship
in the long run.
Yeah, and with dating as well, you need to observe what kind of things you do together as a couple. It's not healthy to just every time you're seeing each other, it's just come to my room,
Netflix and chill.
Yeah, no, you have to do other things as well that are gonna challenge your character, challenge your personality, challenge your element of fun, your comfort zone, those kind of things, and that's what you do when you're dating. Those things help you to understand the kind of lifestyle and habits that you want to encounter with this person, and they'll react differently to different situations, and that's the reason why you date someone and go out, and whether it's movies or
and enjoy
coffee
things with
dates,
them and have your own things that you enjoy as a couple. So I think just to end off now with our last point, this one is almost red as well. It's one of those I almost think almost red, but how they handle money. Because people can change their money habits for sure. And I think most of us grew up in a society where we did not really know a lot about financial literacy and saving and things like that. So that's why I think it's an orange flag, because people are not equipped. I don't know why schools don't have the set syllabus to equip people with financial literacy and saving and managing debts and all of that. But that is a huge one. That is a huge one. How they save money, how they spend their money, what they spend their money on, because you're going to be merging your lifestyles together if you get married and spending that money together. And if you don't have certain contracts in place, accumulating that debt together, so it's very important to really know how they handle money. Yes, you're dating, but you need to know how they spend their money and how they manage money and what they think about money, their relationship with money. Is it come in, goes out, like it's just passing by, or there's something, they're building something, or it's all going to family or friends or whatever. Like there's just a lot with money. And what money does is it exposes the character you are. If you're someone who's ill-disciplined, money will prove that this person's ill-disciplined. If you're someone who's disciplined and is able to save, money will show that, hey, this is someone who thinks ahead. Can build a future with.
So don't ignore those kind of things. I know some people feel like, hey, but I'm dating this person, their money's their money. I can't really tell them what to do. but you do need to observe and also advise,
watch.
because you do get some people who get money and they don't really know what to do with it, you know, and they start spending it.
I
and
blew it.
Yeah.
I blew it.
Yeah. So you, as a partner, as a caring partner, you need to care about your partner's spending habits, how your partner views money, and also how they get money. It's very important too.
Yeah. What they're willing to do to get money.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, that's a very important thing.
Yeah. I think also, just to add a point with that, it also exposes someone's work rate and someone's work ethic,
Yeah.
So those are things that you also need to look out for and decide if, hey, if someone is
that.
If your partner is lazy and you're okay with having a lazy partner, that's up to you,
And you're just alone in the household. Making money.
The one who's making it run. That's up to you, because some people actually do prefer that, But it can have damaging effects on it, especially if you have expectation for the other person and you are fading or struggling to express your expectations.
So
it's something you definitely need to look into.
Yeah, no, it's a very important one. Money is not something to be taken lightly. Maybe in the beginning phases when you're still dating and it's not serious, of course, don't be that hung up on their money. But as you get serious, and now you can see that, okay, here we're working towards something you have to be very aware of, because it can get very tricky now when you're married and you're combined. Even if you have anti-nuptial agreements and things like that, it's still very, very crucial that you both have similar spending habits or similar financial goals, because you're building together. And as a married couple, if you join your income and you grow it and you have similar goals, where two is better than one. You can grow exponentially and just do so much together, versus when you are just the one who's fighting the good fight, fighting to make things stay above water. This one is just going crazy with credit cards. It's not nice. So I think that's where we'll end off our video for today. There's so many. I think this one could have a part 2, part 3. There's so many orange red flags, but hopefully what we've shared today gives you a little insight into the things that you should be aware of in your relationship or in your dating endeavors, or if you're coming up to now considering marriage, maybe things that you guys still need to work on and discuss and really fine-tune before you take that next step. Because like we said before, and what we will continue to emphasize, marriage only amplifies what's already there. So don't think that when we're married suddenly
miracles happen.
Discipline your mali, or their lifestyle is going to change, they're going to want to be at home with me all the time, or whatever we mentioned in jail, they're going to treat their elders gashly. Now no, it's not going to change. It just won't. So really fine-tune those things while you're dating.
Thanks guys, hope you enjoyed that video. And hey, interact with us as well. Let us know in the comments, maybe if you want to know about something. We're not experts, of course, in this department. We somehow got it right,
still working
on certain other things, but we were very fortunate to find each other, and we're very compatible, so we can offer some advice
and share your your orange flags.
We'd also like to hear from you.
What do you think is an orange flag? Or a red flag? Like, just share that, so whoever comes across this video can just also see different perspectives, ideas, and just different walks of life, like what they've experienced in life, and that they don't have to go through that, because that's the whole point. You don't have to go through the valley of the shadow of death, child.
When someone has gone through it and can advise you, be careful, don't go towards that, avoid that and take a different direction if you're heading there. So that's what this is all about. We're a community. We're working together to improve our lives, all of us, and hopefully to have wonderful relationships and marriages in the society.
Amen.
All right.
But thank you for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Till next time.
Bye.